What is one thing you could say to a business owner that I like to get into something actionable, that maybe why they should be doing videos and publishing online?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I would say leverage is the first thing, because instead of just having one-to-one conversations, you can record yourself on video and be able to put that out to multiple people at one time. So just being able to get your face on there, just to stand out for everybody else and just build your own credibility and trust through content has been a great way for me to even just grow my business.
We talked a little bit before we started about, were you nervous when you first started making videos? It's 6 months to make my first one. And every day I woke up, I'm like, I'm going to make a video. But then I would come up with an excuse. Did that happen to you as well?
100%. Yes. I would never imagine that I would be in front of the camera so much now. If you would have asked me 5, even 3 years ago, if I would have been doing this, I would have said 100% no. But I think it just comes through being more confident in what you're doing over time and just knowing that you have a skill set that can help other people. And this is the way you reach people in 2025 if you want to do that. So it grows on you over time.
And I want to knock out 5 bullet points today for anyone watching to where you guys can actually learn from Nick. I'm going to ask him certain questions so you can learn and go implement it. And especially with AI now, more and more people are thinking, maybe I don't need to make these videos. Why should I make these videos? But the outcome of these videos, I have a YouTube channel. I get multiple leads and customers from it every single week because it builds trust. So stay tuned to the end because Nick's going to give us one secret that will totally dominate and get you more leads. So, all right. So tell me where it all started. What made you want to get into the video business?
Yeah, similar to you, I had a background in fitness and personal training, and I was always a passion of mine is just helping other people do the same thing, transform their bodies, be more healthy, and just have a better quality of life overall. So with that passion, I was helping another friend document and film his own marketing content for his personal training business. And what's funny is that at the time we were doing that, I had no idea about content, about marketing, about anything. He was just asking me like, hey man, we work out at the gym all the time. Could you just grab my camera and film some videos of me working out? And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like, sounded kind of weird at first, but I was like, sure, I'll do it. I'll help you out. And then come to find out he was using that content to actually promote his personal training business and get more attention on him and just show his expertise as someone who was capable of helping other people have that same transformation. So just starting out in the gym, learning how to use a camera, and then learning about the marketing side of things, it just was constantly stacking skills and leading me to the point where I'm at now, where I'm getting in front of the camera and marketing myself in the same way.
You got to show them how it's done. So people are like, oh man, he's actually doing it.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
I see a lot of people say to go do something, but they're not actually implementing it themselves. So yeah, it's huge that you're just the living example.
Yeah, that's a big game changer too, I would say, is once you're actually doing it, you almost don't have to really promote or sell it to other people because you're actively doing it yourself. And that's kind of doing the selling for you.
What was the outcome of that first person that you helped? Like, so he wanted to make that content. You started helping him. Was there an outcome or something that came from that?
Yeah, he was directly getting a lot of feedback and a lot of inbound leads from his content, because the way he was doing it was he was just documenting what he was already doing. So he was prepping for a men's physique show. He was already in really great shape. He had great genetics, but he's also a really hard worker. So he was just documenting all the stuff that he was doing and showing his transformation as he dieted for that competition. And just from other people watching that, they could say, wow, like, this seems pretty simple. Like, I didn't realize like that's all he's doing is just tracking his macros, tracking his calories, and he's losing weight consistently. And he's just showing everything that he's doing. So for him, he built his personal training business up. And as me helping him, I was building my own skill set with the videos. We were able to go pitch other local businesses on similar type of content to market their business. So that kind of lit that entrepreneurial spark for us and realized, wow, we can do this for ourselves and market and get clients from it. Why not go to other local businesses and try to help them do the same thing?
That's what I really want to push across in today's video is why get on camera and why do this. For me, it's been beneficial by educating and doing how-to helpful content for my clients. Just like your client and yourself, you're actually going, instead of telling people what to do, you're showing them what to do. So as we get into talking about AI on video and also why and getting comfortable on camera, I think that's the main thing I want our listeners to focus on today is get on there to help people and show them instead of tell them.
Yeah, it's a big game changer for sure.
What is your experience now with people coming to you and being like, all right, I know I need to do videos for my business, but where do I start? Maybe I'm nervous, never done videos before. What do you see happening in those conversations?
Yeah, that's a great question as well. And similar to how you said, just showing people first versus telling them, and that makes it a lot easier in my mind when it comes to approaching what type of content should I make, how do I actually get on camera and do that. Just become that expert in your field to begin with and have a skill set that sets you aside from everybody else. And then you're just showing that to more people. So for me, I try not to think of it of like, what's the best way to film this or document this versus how can I just show people the expertise that I already have and do it in a way where I'm trying to help another person. So it kind of takes that pressure off of like, how does it look? How does it sound? Because again, if your underlying goal is just to help somebody else and show them how to do something, then over time, you'll be able to build on things like the quality and the lighting and the audio and all those things. But just to start, if you have that foundation of wanting to help other people, then that should get you started immediately.
I think that's where I've seen you really help people is I'm just going to ask you certain questions and help you just get that expertise out of that one thing. Because I do think that's a struggle for a lot of people is, what do I say? What if I don't say it right? What if I mess up? Right? But I think if you just have a conversation with the camera and just teach something that's helpful, that makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
Would you recommend someone just start making videos with their iPhone at home to start? Or would you recommend someone start making videos?
Yeah, 100%. Whatever's going to be the easiest for you. The iPhone is great. It's so accessible. I've always been told as someone who has a background in video and photography is that the best camera you can have is the one that's on you. So if you don't have a big fancy camera to go shoot stuff with, but you have your phone on you, have to start with that. You can start reporting content with that right away. Again, just with that underlying goal of just helping other people, just take the phone out, start recording some videos and trying to start help other people.
So the next thing is that I wanted to get into is, all right, get on camera to show people instead of tell them, right? Number 2, just start making videos on your phone. They don't have to be perfect. What about the editing after? So once that video is made, what do I do next? Do I go publish it on YouTube? Do I need to edit it? What do you usually suggest people for that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say it's very dependent on the platform. So something like YouTube, like you've talked about in the past, it's more of like a long form type of platform. So people can go on there and expect to watch a video that's maybe anywhere from 5 to 10 or even 20 minutes at a time. So something like that maybe wouldn't require as much editing versus some of these short form platforms like Reels on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. You really only have about 30 to 60 seconds to really deliver a message and capture people's attention. So something like that might require a little more structure in editing in terms of the hook at the beginning of the video, the actual value that you're providing in the video, and then the next steps at the end. So just keep in mind where the video is going to end up. But again, if you're just starting, doing something is going to be better than nothing. So start and get the ball rolling, and then you can get feedback and look at the data and look at your numbers and be able to improve upon what you've started doing already.
It's interesting because right before this podcast, we were looking at my first videos 9 years ago and how embarrassing they could be. Mr. Beast just released a video. It's at 10 years to his future self. Did you see that?
He said he wanted to be at 1 million subscribers.
He hoped he would be at 1 million subscribers.
How cool is it to see that, right? Somebody like that, and that was his expectations.
But now with Instagram and all AI stuff coming out, people's expectations are totally different. They think they need to be a pro on those first videos. What would you say to them is, for me, I would say go watch Mr. Beast's first videos. You can sort them. Do you have any tips on just mentally getting started and being comfortable?
Yeah, you got to approach it from a long-term mindset. And think of all the greatest athletes, all the greatest actors, anybody who's at the top 1% of their field. They probably didn't land on the actual thing that they're doing now from day one. I'm sure they started and then evolved and changed and took different turns on their path and then eventually ended up where they're at now. But if they never started in the first place and got the ball rolling, they would never be able to course correct and problem solve and come up with a different route to lead to where they are now. So someone like Mr. Beast, I think, is a great example to see. And the types of videos that he was making 10 years ago are probably way different than the stuff he's making now. But the fact of the matter, like you said, is he started and then he just kept going and he didn't stop.
Practice.
100%.
You got to practice everything.
Simple as that.
You want to be good at something, you got to practice it, right?
Yeah, and the more you do it, the better you're going to get.
There's a famous guy that yells, practice. We don't need practice.
Right?
Yeah, you definitely need to practice and don't be embarrassed on your first ones. Like, I even tell people upload 5 videos and save them as unlisted. You don't even have to show them. It's just good practice.
That's a good way to approach it too. Don't put all that pressure on yourself, right? Just film something without any expectations of even putting it out there, and you'll just get those out of the way early.
Exactly. Okay, I want to get into why before we go into any more tips, because people may be watching. Yeah, I probably should get on camera. But why should I get on camera? I'm going to be nervous. Oh, it sounds like a lot of work. Like we just talked, you got practice to get better. But what's an outcome? Can you share like a client success story? I know you shared the first one, but what about recently? Whether it's yourself or a client, that what is that outcome somebody could expect by making these videos and posting that and building that audience?
Yeah, really great question. I would say the why to actually get on camera is all those reasons you just listed, because everybody else in their mind is going to say, I don't want to look bad, or I don't want to do it. I don't know what to say. Like, those are all the reasons why people don't do it. So if you are the one that does it, you're going to reap all the benefits from taking that action. So perfect example would just be different clients who have never been on camera before. I would say that's the majority of who we're working with now are business owners. They're experts in what they do, but content and social media in 2025 is not really their expertise. So just through us helping show them how simple and easy it can be, just people getting noticed, right? When these ads start popping up on people's phones and you're just intentionally showing up time after time, people are very receptive and open to having conversations with people when they feel familiar. And just the fact that you're showing up constantly, you're seeing their faces. There's tons of people that we've worked with before, real estate agents, mortgage officers, all these different loan officers, all these different industries where people just started to get on camera and they started to notice all of these things that happen downstream of them just doing it. So it's funny because they go into it maybe with one intention, and then on the other side, they end up realizing like, wow, like I'm getting recognized in these different places. People see me as an authority in my space because I'm openly speaking and giving value and teaching people in my content. So the list just goes on of reasons why you should do it. But until you do it for yourself and kind of see what that experience is like, I'll let that do the selling for you.
I think that's cool. I'm going to share one that actually stuck out for me is I saw you filming a property. You do a lot of like homes and property stuff, right?
Yep.
And so, yeah, that person probably wanted to talk about their property and talk about all the features. But for me, I saw it. I'm like, I want to buy that property like right away. I don't even need to talk to them. They showed it to me in the camera, in the video. So I felt like I was there without having to drive there. And then the views and the different scenes you showed, I'm like, yeah, I want that. I don't even have to go check it out. I just want that.
It's so cool to experience that because you're just bringing things to people's attention and bringing their awareness to it. It's already there, but unless you remind them of it or put it directly in front of their face, they won't go out of their way to realize that it's there.
Yep. All right. So how often, before we get into the ads, how often do you suggest somebody make videos and post them? Do you have like a cadence that you always recommend?
Yeah. So on the different platforms, I would say Instagram, Facebook, the short form videos, those could almost be daily. And that's something you could work up to over time. I would say at minimum, if you're showing up at least 2 to 3 times a week with some good quality information, that's going to be enough to keep you pretty top of mind. And then when it comes to the longer form videos, I think you're on a cadence of around 3 videos per week. Again, that's something you can build up to over time, but just start with something that you can manage. And then once you kind of see results and get data, you can adjust and work up to higher levels over time.
That's the third thing I wanted to touch on. I wanted to try to hit 5 bullet points. We got through a few, but the third one there is you said top of mind. And I think that's so important. I had a real estate friend who sold a house to somebody 3 years ago, found out that they went and bought a house from someone else, and he asked why. They said, oh, we totally forgot that's what you did. He doesn't create video content, doesn't post on social media. Talk to us more about staying top of mind and the outcomes you've seen come from that.
Yeah, the old saying, if you hang around the barbershop long enough, you're going to get a haircut. Right? If you're just constantly there, if you're showing up, like things will happen as a result of that. You're just letting people know and reminding them that you are that expert and you're always there and you're actively helping people right now. And people gravitate towards that. If they see the same face all the time and they're always helping people with the same sort of problem and you have that problem, that's going to be the person that you're going to end up going with. So it's crazy to hear about your friend because that's a very real thing.
Have you seen that before with any of your clients where like, man, people said that they see me everywhere now, or they never forget about me?
Yeah, that's probably the coolest part of it is when other people experience that. Because it's one thing for me to do it and start running ads and just putting myself out there. When other people can do it and kind of see the outcomes that come from it, it's really cool to share that with other people.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. All right, so the fourth thing I want to cover is building the audience, because I could see a lot of people getting discouraged. They finally take that first step and make a video. All right, now I'm going to make a couple and I'm going to start posting them. But what do you say after a week or two when they just have no views or no new followers or no new subscribers? You know, for me, I just got my 8-year YouTube anniversary today. So for me, it's patience and time. But What's some tips around that?
Yeah, congratulations on that, first of all.
Thank you.
And I think that's a really great point. That's something that we've talked about all the time, is that we almost have to adjust our metrics for success. And the platforms really make it easy for us to focus on the things like the views and the likes and the followers and all the engagement as a part of it. And it's a whole other story. I think that's baked into our own psychology of wanting to compete. And it's literally right there in front of our faces all the time. So it's so easy to see that. And it just kind of gamifies it and is part of the addicted nature of it, because we want to do better than the last post and we want to look at how other people are doing. But just to remember, like we've talked about, is that even if people aren't liking your posts or they aren't engaging with them or commenting on them, oftentimes they're still seeing those posts. And the way that you and I both have experienced this is just from seeing people face to face in person, not on these social media platforms. And the first thing they bring up is all of your posts and all the things that they've seen you post online. Whereas when you go back to those posts and look at them, that person has never engaged with it or liked or even subscribed or followed your page. So just remember, if you go into it with the intention, like we talked about earlier, of just helping people and just putting that content out there, your metric for success isn't going to be the likes or the views or the followers. But what's really funny is that those things are almost a byproduct of you just making really good and helpful content that is resonating specifically with that audience that you want to build. And once you find that sweet spot of creating that content that resonates with your audience, you will end up getting more views and more likes and more followers, because you're really speaking specifically to one person and helping them.
You do a really good job on this, is where you're not telling people we're trying to make you go viral or anything like that. You're just building a small ideal audience that will pay them.
That's the difference. Yeah. So instead of playing the game of social media to try to go viral and get a bunch of followers, we're just trying to build that tight-knit audience of people who are actually interested in potentially working with you or buying from you in the future. Not necessarily going mass market and trying to capture everybody. We're just trying to capture that specific subsection of the market that we know we can help.
That's the one thing I really wanted to share with the audience, was really, I feel like there's two columns. There's an entertainment column and an education column. Entertainment, you're not able to really directly sell a house or sell a property or sell a service. You just have to get millions of views. But then there's that education column, which I can do a great job on, is just get a smaller audience. What do you think about this? I call it the professor method. I could only meet with you one-on-one in person, right? A teacher can get in front of a class and teach 30 people. So if you can think of that as being the educator and the professor online, you really only need 30, 100, 1,000 people that are your raving fans. There's even a book written about that. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, the raving fans.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it makes it easier for us as business owners too, because then we realize we're not trying to appeal to everybody. We're just trying to appeal to that specific person we can help. And I like that you mentioned about entertainment versus educational content, because something I've heard a lot about with the educational content is that people will pay you with their attention and with engagement if you're creating entertaining content, but they aren't necessarily going to pull their credit card and pay you with their money. So if you want to create that reciprocity that people talk about of giving first and then giving to the point where a person feels like they owe you, education is going to be the best way to do that, because you're giving someone so much that they feel like they owe you in return. Versus if you're only making entertaining content, they're just going to pay you with their like and with their view, and then they'll just scroll and keep moving on. So I think that's the difference, is just adding more value and getting more through your content is what's going to lead to more coming back as a business owner.
That's huge. I love it. All right. So that was 4. Number 5 is the last bullet point I wanted to cover. And thank you for sharing these lessons with my audience too. Super helpful. Is what if I want to invest a little money into this, and I want to speed this up, and I want to target my ideal customers? I see your ads and I see your organic posts everywhere. So you do a great job with that. Tell me about what you do with the ads to just really help people get an ROI in this.
Yeah, this is a great question. And I've heard a lot of misconceptions from business owners as far as ads and what that looks like and what all goes into it. But my whole thought process is that the ads are just amplifying the message that's already there in the content. So if you have a bad message or a bad offer to begin with as a business owner, and you're running ads behind that and amplifying that out to more people, it's not going to magically make your offer perform better. So if you just start with the foundation of having a really good offer for your ideal client that they want to buy right now, and you use the ads as a tool to just get that in front of them, that's when you have the perfect congruence there. So really starting as a business owner and diving into the nitty-gritty of what is my offer and who is the ideal client that I'm trying to speak to, the ads are just a tool to accelerate that and get it in front of people. And then as far as tracking, all that is very, very important as well. So tracking your ad spend, tracking your cost per lead, all these different metrics. So like we talked about, once you start spending ads, you'll get all this data from the platforms, and that's what you can use to go back and optimize and see how you can improve on certain metrics and making sure that you're having a trackable ROI from the ads that you're spending.
Yeah, because I've seen people come, 3 months later, they're not tracking that and said, I spent all this money on ads, didn't get any clients. But when you actually go look at it, they got 10, 15 clients from it.
Yeah, there's so much power in knowing the numbers. And this is stuff we hear all the time. It's the very basic stuff. It's so easy to overlook, but literally just knowing your numbers takes all the emotional guesswork out of it. And you have actual hard data that you can make decisions based off of then.
So I want to run ads. Do I test my videos organically first to find out which ones would you get on ads? Or do I use the ads to help me prove the offer?
Yeah, I like that question a lot. So organic to paid is a great strategy to start because, again, with the ads, you're just amplifying that message to more and more people. So if you can put out a message organically to your existing audience and they respond really well to it, the chances of you running that as an ad and putting it out to even more people are going to be much higher that it'll resonate with even more people. So I think organic is a great low barrier way to test your messaging and test your offers. And then once you found that sweet spot, use ads to just amplify it to more people.
That's huge. What if I have money to invest to test with ads? Kind of just skip the organic part?
Yeah, that's a whole other strategy, right? You can throw all your ad creatives into a campaign and kind of see what's going to get the best response. And then once you identify what's working, just do more of that. That's pretty much the whole name of the game. Whether you're doing organic or paid or you're doing both together, you're just trying to find that sweet spot of the offer and messaging that aligns with the audience. So ads is just going to accelerate that even faster.
Love it. What's your favorite ad platforms?
Yeah, for me, it's got to be Instagram and Facebook, the short form content. That's where everybody is right now in 2025, I would say at least. So I think that's a great start, but just having a strategy in terms of where to push people once you get that initial attention or views from the ads into the longer form platform, something like that is a whole nother strategy to talk about.
Well, I want to dive into that because what should somebody tell people to do with these ads to get them to get hired? So if your ideal audience isn't following you, and they're not leaving comments, they're just watching the videos. And maybe they're in their car driving down the road. They might not have time to go to your website. What's some big call to actions you've seen work well in organic posts and the ads?
Yeah, so as far as ads, like we've talked about before, just educating first in that very first ad that people see is something a lot of people, I think, don't realize to do. So again, a lot of misconceptions we talked about with ads before. I think a lot of people that I talk to and a lot of business owners say if I'm running an ad, I'm directly trying to sell something from that ad. Whereas you and I have both talked about if you just educate people first and provide them with value and then give them a next step to say, follow your page or come check out the rest of your content, you're just warming them up a little more and providing value to them. And then eventually you can retarget some of those people and have more of that direct offer to, hey, book a call with me or book this service and this is something you're looking for. But we always equate it to asking someone to marry you on the first date. Like, you're not going to go up to somebody and ask them to marry you the very first time you ever go on a date with them.
Yeah.
You got to warm them up first. You got to build trust. You got to build that relationship and nurture it. And it's the exact same thing when it comes to marketing. So that's probably the biggest mistake I see is business owners trying to sell a product or a service directly off a first ad. Whereas if they could just build that relationship and build that trust through providing value in their content, they're going to have a much better time when they do finally ask for somebody to buy something.
I like that you brought up the dating because it also works well if you play hard to get too.
There you go.
So I've actually had people say, man, I didn't even see where I could go buy something from you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you got to work for it. I got to approve you as well. So I want to encourage people making their content, like play a little hard to get and help educate. People will find you when they're ready.
Those are things a lot of people don't realize, right? And when you sort of start to take that approach is when you can really see some really cool results because not a lot of people are doing that. So as soon as you start doing that and people have to find information about you, they're just showing you their intent. They're showing you that they're very interested. They're going through the effort to reach out to you and find out more. So you know that person is going to be very ready to take action when the time comes.
That's huge. I can imagine that's probably what's going to make you stick out against your competitors too is, first of all, your competitors probably aren't making relationship videos.
Yeah.
And then number two, if they do videos or content, they're probably just asking for the sale. So imagine how you're going to look after.
Yeah. It sounds so simple when we talk about it, right? But I'm glad we can put this stuff out there because the more that people understand that and start to realize that, and they'll completely change the way that they approach their marketing and their content. And it makes it easier, honestly. I think it's easier for you and I to make that sort of content that's just helping people because we don't have any expectation of getting a sale from it. So when the sale does come, we're almost just amazed and super grateful for it because, again, our intention is just to help people through our content. But it just goes to show when you help people to a big enough extent, they're willing to reach out and want to give you something in return.
Yeah. I think I've been following you for the last year, and you've just been consistent. And what that does is it adds that compounding effect to where someone is probably not ready to hire you the first time they see your video. Have you had people hire you like 3, 4, 5 months after they started following you or saw your videos?
That's very common, very, very common. And that's where it comes back to the tracking that we talked about is very important to see. And just asking people even like, yeah, how long have you been seeing the content? How long have you been seeing the videos? And oftentimes it is more often than not, at least around a 3 to 4 month time frame for most people. But there are those outliers, right? When you're able to get in front of these people who are actively looking for the service that you're providing and you're running ads or you just have a way to show up in front of them, you'll capture that portion of the marketplace. Okay. But what's great is when you can build that relationship over time and just wait until people are ready. And by the time they're ready, there's not going to be many objections or many reasons why they aren't ready, right? They've gone through the process and they've learned everything they need to learn and they're ready to take the next step.
I've had someone become a client 3 years after following me.
That's amazing. Did they tell you that?
Yes.
Yeah.
They were on my newsletter for 3 years.
Amazing.
So watched some of the videos. So that's super key. That's another thing though I wanted to teach the audience because since you do a good job of this, I've seen it as well. A lot of times people will come and just take a ton of videos and spend their entire ad budget in month 1 and then not see the return right away and just give up and stop. So what I've seen is maybe start slower and be consistent because you are going to have to wait it out and to let those things build trust and let them marinate, right?
Yeah. Playing the long game, right? That's very important. Just adjust your expectations as far as how long it will take to get results. But I like what you mentioned too about starting small because you really can just get a proof of concept with a small budget. And then that's when you would scale things up once you've identified what works. Whereas again, we talked about those misconceptions amongst business owners. A lot of them maybe think I need to come out the gate and spend thousands of dollars every single month on my ads. Whereas these platforms allow you to adjust your budget on a daily basis and you can turn these ads on and off at any point in time. So if you just start with a small budget and you can identify what's working early on, then there's no problem. And it actually makes sense for you to then scale your budget up over time because you've already identified what's working versus coming out the gate, just spending a whole lot on your ads and not really knowing what's working. The name of the game is just finding what works. And once you find that, just double down on it.
That's huge. I think we hit my 5 bullet points. Now we need to get into the secret one you all waited for. I didn't even warn you about this.
No, this is me a secret.
So when you run ads for local businesses and well, not even for local business in the local area. So all of your ads is, hey, Wilmington business owners, or you have this radius Wilmington. If I go back and look at my tracking and analytics, I've never had a client sign up in Montana. Never had someone from Idaho, even though if you're from Idaho, I'd love to have you as a client. Never had anyone sign up from so many states. Nevada, even though Las Vegas, I've never had a Las Vegas client. But when I go and set up my ads, first thing is I just start running ads nationwide. So I'm just thinking how much money I'm wasting in Montana and Idaho and Las Vegas on ads that no one's ever going to hire before. Walk me through your local advertising strategy.
Yeah, that's a really great question. So for me, when I think of it from a local standpoint, it just seems a lot more simple in my mind because there's less variables, right? Nationwide, there's different states, there's different cities, different counties, whereas we're just pinpointing one location. That's where we can have fun with it. Like you mentioned, we can call out the actual specific audience that we're trying to speak to and just say, hey, Wilmington homeowners, if you are here in Wilmington and you're experiencing this problem, this video is for you. And that's just going to allow you, from a marketing standpoint, to really resonate with the person you're talking to. Because I can't tell you how many people have seen ads on social media, and they told me the fact that you said Wilmington at the beginning of your video immediately made me trust you more because I see these ads all the time of people that are running nationwide. So something to keep in mind if you are a local business owner and you do service in the local area, just play that to your advantage, be able to message and call out directly who you're trying to speak to. And that'll really help you stand out amongst everyone else as well.
What about if you're a nationwide business owner?
Yeah.
Do you suggest trying that as well?
Yeah. So the same principles apply of calling out your audience. You just maybe wouldn't call them out by their location necessarily. You would just speak to their specific problems or pain points that they're having. So instead of saying, hey, Wilmington homeowners, do you have this problem? You could just cut out the location part and just start by saying, hey, are you a person that has this problem? And it's always great from a marketing standpoint to lead with pain that someone's experiencing, because as soon as somebody hears that and they say, oh yeah, like I have that problem right now, they're more likely to listen and to pay attention. So that's just something I would keep in mind.
To dive in one more step further, I'm actually going to test this. And I'm going to run ads in local cities and call out the city. So I'll have multiple ad sets with different locations. Hey, Charleston, are you looking? Do you need AI SEO? Hey, Tampa. And so let's see how that goes. Have you ever done any of that or seen anyone that's done that?
I could see that working very well. I don't personally do it, but I know other people who do things similar to what I do.
Yep.
And when they try to target a different area, that's the approach. Just to just call out that area specifically. It just makes it a little more personalized, right? Think of it from your perspective. If you were to hear somebody call out your specific type of business and they said that in the beginning of the video versus kind of a broad statement, you'd feel a lot more personalized, right? If someone's speaking directly to you.
Exactly what I need. Yep, that's exactly what I need.
There you go. When you can create that effect in somebody's mind, that's the best thing.
What's next for you? Well, you've got this local business. You're helping local business owners. You started posting on YouTube, which everyone watching, make sure you check out his YouTube channel. You got to get those views up. And what's next for you in the business?
Yeah, shout out to you for helping me get on YouTube and encourage the next stuff to do it. Yeah, I'm just having fun with it now. We're trying to build out the team here and really go to support all the clients that we have now and just continue to grow and help other people as well. So if that looks like branching out of the Wilmington area to more of the state or more of the coast that we're on here on the East Coast, maybe that'll happen, but we're just taking it one day at a time and just having fun throughout that process. So the end goal is to just help more people and help as many people as we possibly can. So like I mentioned, if we end up branching out, that would be the next step. So we'll see what happens.
Talk to me about your team. You've got a great team that helps you. Obviously, you can't do all this production and stuff on your own. Tell me about the team you got.
Yeah, it's great. So we got Bradley here behind the camera. Yep, he's helping out with the 6 cameras that we have set up right now. But yeah, it's a great addition to have somebody who is very specific in their specialty that can really shine in the role that they're in. So when we're helping these clients locally, a lot of it is really helping coach them through the filming process and helping make sure that they're confident in the things that they're saying. So if I can have somebody who's confident and proficient at what they do with the camera equipment, and I can really dedicate that time to focus with the client and help them through that process, it just makes for a better end result overall. So having people like video editors and assistants and people who actually film high quality videos as well just really helps people shine in the role that they're in, and it makes for a better end product.
Okay, I'm watching this, whether I'm local or maybe on the East Coast, or I need to hire someone as well. What's it like working with you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So a lot of what we do is the scripting, filming, and editing process of the ads and the content for the local businesses. So when they onboard with us, we basically send them a questionnaire that really dives deep into who their ideal client is. So once we identify what is their pain points, their problems, all these different things about the client that they're trying to market to, we can then help develop all the marketing messaging for them. So that's what we use to help create those videos. And then we'll also help them set up and launch their ads so that they can get those running and generating leads and business for them as well. Cool. So that process is basically getting information that we need from them in order to create all the messaging. And then we just do all the rest of that for them. The whole scripting, filming, and editing process.
So you'll go to their location or have a location for them, and then that's where the filming gets done?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we'll go on site either to their business, or we have places like this, which Brad's so gracious to offer us to be able to film at a location like this as well. But yes, we'll go to the business owners most of the time to film at their actual location.
Do you provide them the teleprompter and kind of coach them through getting that content right?
Yep, the whole process. Yep. So we'll create the scripts, we'll help coach them through the scripts and all the on-camera performance in real time. And that's what's great about having a team as well, is we're just a bunch of guys having fun. We're here to be productive and help business owners get results, but we want to do it in a way where it doesn't feel high pressure, or it doesn't feel like it's got to be perfect the first time. We want to make people feel relaxed and comfortable throughout that process. So that's something we like to do as well, is just really cater to the customer experience.
Relaxed and comfortable is key, because I could see getting the sweats. My first time getting on camera, I came in with these big cameras and I tried doing this infomercial and I totally failed. Like wasn't even an infomercial. So I like how you guys make it easy, make them comfortable. What would you suggest, how many times people should be making this content, working with someone like you?
Yeah, that's great. Great question. So we have got it down to a monthly basis. So they say we can film ads and content in about a 2 hour time frame. And that way they have a steady amount of content to be pushing out throughout the weeks. But if you're doing things like paid ads and have actual marketing funnels set up, a lot of that stuff is pretty automated. So it's just nice to have content that you're consistently putting out, but your ads and that stuff can do a lot of the heavy lifting. So I think around a monthly basis, if you can just bash in and be efficient, you can get a lot done within a 2 to 3 hour time frame, assuming that you're prepared and ready going into it beforehand.
Yeah, business owners are busy, so they don't always have every single week. So
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
nice to take it over.
That's where systems processes kind of come into that, right? We kind of factor that in. We realize you're running a business. You don't have time to be creating content all day. So let us do all the heavy lifting and all that grunt work on the front end so that when you show up, you just execute and then you're done.
What happens if you film the video, get it back to me, and I'm like, man, I just need a few edits?
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's a great question too. So that's something we have experienced through doing this for a while now, is that is a common thing that happens. So we do have softwares and platforms built in that can allow you to keep revising your content, to keep revising your content over time. So if you need to revise things, if you need to change certain things, that's something that we make it very easy to do.
Love it. I like how you do the questionnaire. So the questionnaire helps you help the end make better content. So let's say I'm on the West Coast or somewhere else and I want to hire a different video guy to help me with all of this. What's something I should look out for or ask them to make sure I hire the right person?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say it depends on your goals. If you're going into it with the intention of hiring someone to help with marketing and actually producing results in terms of leads and sales and more clients, just look for those specific skill sets. Look for the things like trackable ROI and the things that actually are leading to tangible results for the business versus someone who's leading maybe with just the quality as a selling point. So I think if you can combine both of those, it's great. But if you're a business owner who's looking for an ROI, then things like a questionnaire that's actually asking about what is your offer, who's the ideal client that you market to, things like that will really help when it comes from a marketing standpoint to develop that messaging.
Huge. Yeah. If you're watching this and you're not ready to jump on camera right now, you just wasted half hour. You need to get on camera right now. That was super helpful, that all the tips. Appreciate you giving the education. I mean, we use this podcast to help do exactly what you taught today. How to, educational stuff so people can learn and then they can go hire someone when they're right. So thanks for joining me. Where should people follow you and support you?
Yeah, go check me out on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram. That's the main platform. I'll have a ton of content on there, and then YouTube, just like Brad mentioned. So that's something I've been diving more into lately as well, just to help people in a longer form on that platform.
So I can go to your YouTube and just learn more stuff like this from you.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
I like the behind the scenes on Instagram.
It's fun, right? It's fun.
Yeah, it makes, because when I see other people doing videos and you guys actually producing them and helping them, it actually encourages me to want to go make mine too. Like I'm seeing all these other business owners on there too. So that's pretty cool. Thanks for doing that.
That's the goal, right? We just want to show people that there are misconceptions and there are things that maybe people think as to why they can't do it. But the more that we can just shine the light on how simple and easy and actually fun the process it can be, it just makes it easier, more easily accessible to everybody.
I started showing my personality in mine lately.
There you go. That's the big differentiator too, is like we talk about, as you build that consistency over time, those are things that a lot of people would think to hide and to cut out, that they don't want to show.
Yep.
But the sooner you start showing those sides of yourself, people can actually resonate with that and relate to it. So it's really great that you had a positive experience with that too.
One thing I forgot to ask you was about AI videos versus personal, because people are going to start getting tempted to make their marketing videos with AI now. Why do you think they should or shouldn't?
Yeah, I like that question a lot. And everyone that I've talked to in the space now has mentioned AI. As far as I can tell right now, it may be like a pendulum, right? So as it's emerging now, it's becoming a very popular thing. More and more people will jump onto it. And then in order to stand out, you just have to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. So once the marketplace becomes saturated with AI videos, in order to stand out, just get on camera as a real person and actually speak. But it's kind of scary to see how good the AI is becoming, because I'm seeing videos right now in real time that actually look 100% real. And I couldn't even tell that they're AI to begin with. So it's hard to tell. We can sit here and say this right now, but in another week or in another month, my opinion would almost definitely change.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube, have it on in the background, and I like traveling. So I watch the travel videos on YouTube. They've been doing AI YouTube videos for travel for years. Well, YouTube decided to not let them be monetized and not pay them anymore for that. And I instantly know when it's an AI travel video, and I turn it as fast as I possibly can. So my user behavior is I just want the real person. I think that's not going to change because I have been experiencing that for years with those types of videos.
Yeah, the trust factor is huge. So I think that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. People might see AI as convenient or easy, but again, if your goal as a business owner is to build trust with people and ultimately get more clients for your business, then AI is just kind of a shortcut in that circumstance, right? Not to say that it's bad or you shouldn't do it, but if your goal is to build trust with people, then just get on the camera and build trust with people.
One thing I might try is you can keep your normal video, but you could add your bigger biceps.
That is something I would need to do 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe get bigger shoulders, big biceps, but the rest is normal.
That would be great. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the example of the right way to use AI.
Exactly. That's great. Well, Nick, thanks for joining me. If everyone watching, I'll post all his links down below. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I just hope you go take action. Don't just watch this and say, I'll do that someday. Go start. Be uncomfortable. Send me your first horrible video, and I'll still like it and subscribe. So I don't care. So somebody's got to support somebody here. So thanks again, Nick. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Peace.